In our last video, we looked at the difference between score standards and score evidence in the scoring tab of Empower. In this video, I'd like to show you how you can add evidence into Empower without ever having to create a playlist, assignment, quiz, or any of the other things that you can do within Empower. So I'm in the score evidence, first of all. I've selected my group and my grade book that I'd like to add this evidence to. And I'll simply click the plus here to go ahead and add an evidence. So let's say in this case, I'm having my learners do a letter ID activity. And I can add in here a description that this was an observation. I'm simply having them point to an index card that has the letter on it and saying the name. I'll go ahead and assign this an active date range, so it'll start today, it will end at the end of the school year, and then I'm going to say how I'm going to score this. So I can score it by a rubric, I can score it by points, or I can assign it to a teacher resource, which would be something like a checklist that we've built into Empower. Since we haven't built those in quite yet, I'll go ahead and score by points. I'm going to assign it 26 possible points. They're simply going to point to all the uppercase letters and identify those letters. I'll then select the learning targets that this matches to. So I can do this a few ways. I can have my core standards in front of me with these correlating numbers. I can point to the number and hover over it, like 102 is letter names, so I'll go ahead and attach that. 103 is consonant sound correspondence, so on and so forth. And the third way that I could do this is have in another tab the target browser pulled up, and I could be looking at the target browser, kind of seeing more easily than these tiny numbers what numbers correspond, and then coming here and checking them off in this tab. But I know that 102 is the standard that I need, so I've got it checked off and nothing else. And last but not least, I'll save and close this. There are times where you will have more than one standard checked. In this case, I just simply have one. So now I have a space where I can give some evidence for how learners did on this. I can simply choose up here, did they get a high proficient, advanced, proficient, so on and so forth with our grading scale, and highlight the score, go ahead and click in the space where I would like to give a low proficient, or I can use one of these other buttons to allow me to assign, let's say, a basic score. I do also have the ability to type that in. Let me reset my zoom here. If I tap the keyboard number here, I can go ahead and type in HP and assign that. Last but not least, if all my learners were proficient, let's say, in this, I can go ahead and click proficient, click the arrow, and that will give them all a proficient score. There we go. It will always default back to the highest score. So if I want to change that to proficient, I have to specifically click that one. But I can always override all of them or a single one, just like that, or by clicking the typing and go ahead and type in that space. So that's how I create an evidence, by using the add evidence, giving it a name, description, attaching some standards and scoring, and as well as assigning grades through the buttons up here or the typing keypad there. So that's the scoring evidence tab and how you'll assign grades that then later go into score standards here. Now you see I have grades in the 102 standard for those learners. And you'll also see these back on the target browser, which you learned about in video number 1. I hope that this tutorial on scoring evidence, creating evidence, and entering scores was helpful. And as always, thanks for watching.